Alright, alright, folks, how's it going? Welcome back once again. Let me show you something. We were lucky we managed to get through, because honestly, getting into Abriaqui is a real odyssey, folks. Just look at this. And this is the entrance to our next town. Abriaqui, folks, let's see what adventures await us. Wow, guys, what an odyssey. Honestly, getting into Abriaqui is just way too complicated. Phew, we had to go through so many landslides. Just look at what's on the road, even a kind of little ravine, like a small stream. It's really beautiful. And literally, here we keep going, but honestly, the road has been pure adrenaline. It's a real adventure route, folks. Phew, here we go. Alright, folks, we're still going, and as you can see, the roads here are closed. They only let people through from 7 in the morning to noon, because, like I was saying, they're working on the road. But as you know, we're here working with the mayor's office, so they're going to let us through. So, I'll keep you posted, guys. Alright, everyone, they've just let us through. We're continuing on our journey now. Like I said, it's always a bit tricky. This is a really adventurous route, folks. Alright, here we go with God's blessing, and we're taking it easy. Just look at this, what a wild place, what views. That mountain looks beautiful, doesn't it? Guys, oh, look what I just found. And this is none other than the entrance to our 12th town. Abriaqui, which also has a beautiful virgin right here at the entrance. So, let's keep going, they're kind of hassling us. Guys, just take a look at this. Phew, we're passing along this little ledge. Here we go, heading toward the town hall. Well, not the town hall, the town itself. We're, let's say, here with permission, thank God. Let's see if we have to stop or what. Like I said, they're working here, so we have to be careful. No, now we were able to keep going, but yeah, they're definitely doing some road work here. Guys, we're still moving along here. You can see how they moved those trees out of the way. It really has been tough to get through here. I don't know if it's because of the rain or what, but... well, thank God we made it through and didn't have to wait 2 hours like last time. So, let's save this video, folks. Guys, look how beautiful this is. Abriaqui is right in the mountains, because honestly, I'm telling you it's an adventure route. I've been driving on a dirt road for almost an hour. As you can clearly see, it's always incredibly tough to actually get to this particular spot, but the breathtaking and truly wild scenery is just absolutely magnificent. Right now, we're 7.6 kilometers away from entering Abriaqui, and let's see what surprises are waiting for us. The first surprise was this crazy entrance. Honestly, we went through some things that make you go, oh my God, just for the challenge. Guys, we're 1.9 kilometers away and they're still working on the road. It's actually a pretty long stretch that's blocked. As you can see, it's blocked here too, but they're about to let us through. Thank God, we're with the right people, so they gave us access to all these areas, because otherwise, like I said, we would have had to wait almost 2 hours, and that would obviously cut a lot of our filming time. Just 5 more minutes and we'll be there. Alright, guys, 3 minutes from the entrance. We're crossing a little bridge and it's still an unpaved road. Look here, my people, I'll show you something. That sound of that glass. Abriaqui. Now we can say we've arrived. Well, let's see what awaits us. I get off and take the photo and we continue. Okay, everyone, we're here at the entrance now. We've passed the sign. This would be the entrance to Abriaqui. I was saying it wrong. I was saying Abriaqui, but no, it's Abriaqui with an I. It looks like it's going to be tiny, really small, honestly, but it might have a lot of history. We're already heading toward the park. Alright, we've arrived in Abriaqui. We're in its main park. It has a very beautiful fountain, my people. The town looks small, honestly, really small. I'm going to see then what guide they'll. I'm going to see what guide they can lend us, someone who can show us more about the history of this place. Look at that church, how beautiful, my people. The church is also really pretty. I really like the colors. Over there I see a few more images. In the meantime, I'll show you a little more of the park and we'll keep going. Moving on, we're now heading to the town hall to ask about our guide and so they can tell us a bit more about the history, my people. Let's go up here to the little steps of the church. I'll show you what the park looks like from the CH church. Down here, my people. Look. A tiny park. The town is also small and it's surrounded by these mountains you see in the background. Honestly, the town itself is really beautiful. I like that it's surrounded by all these mountains. So, let's keep going. Alright, my people, moving on. We've just been assigned a guide. Her name is Roxana. She's going to tell us everything about Abriaqui, and from what I understand, we only have 2,050 inhabitants. So, I've been told there's a lot of history here, that it's really interesting, and that we're in for, let's say, a real adventure. So, here we go. Abriaqui, my people. Alright, folks, let me share an interesting fact I just learned. Tourism in Abriaqui is mostly religious tourism. So, we're going to visit several little chapels that are, let's say, super important here in town. Another thing is that the town itself is small, but the territory is actually really big. That's why I say this is going to be quite an adventure. Alright folks, continuing with our tour, here they're going to tell us a bit about their history, about the history of Abriaqui, and then we'll tell you a little more about the spring. Alright, sir, tell us about it.
Well, very good. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share about the municipality of Abriaqui, located in the western part of Antioquia. It is believed that Abriaqui was founded in 1821, but in reality, it wasn't officially founded. It was actually the settlement of some people who, in search of better land to farm, asked for permission, requested authorization to settle there so they could also start their own productive projects and bring their families. And that's how they started building small houses, or what you might call a small hamlet, to begin producing something, right? So that's how the municipality of Abriaqui began to emerge over time, because, among other things, Abriaqui, a name that's quite unique, has even been a source of amusement for many people because of the way the two words are put together, Abriaqui. The name actually comes from the story of a woman named Maria Centeno, who was passing through those lands. She was of Santa Farino and Spanish origin, and she was traveling completely loaded with gold, accompanied by indigenous people, slaves, and a large caravan of mules carrying gold, all headed to the port of Uraba to ship the gold to Spain. It was a mandatory passage through the territories that today make up the municipality of Abriaqui. The story goes that because the journey was so arduous, there was a need to bury the gold due to the deaths of mules, slaves, and indigenous people, and she began to feel alone. So, she ordered a slave, telling him, "Dig a hole here to bury the gold." That's how this territory got its name, because, among others, there were other names proposed like Betania, Palestina, Santa Cruz de Narvaez, Santa Cruz de Narvales, but they chose the municipality of Arequipa, holding on to that historical episode involving the businesswoman in gold named Maria Centeno, who in other places is called Maria Pardo. But here we know her as Maria Centeno. So that's basically the story of the creation, not the founding, of the municipality of Abriaqui, which was established as a municipality in 1912 by ordinance. Ordinance number 39 is the one that gave it the status of municipality starting in 1912, since it met all the requirements.
Continuing on after the history and learning how it was founded, so to speak, well, not really founded, but, well, yeah, it's a crazy story. Let's continue herewith. Tell me about this historical figure from here.
As you can clearly see here, this is the significant effigy of a revered religious leader who profoundly established, who meticulously created many, or was indeed the foundational founder of many important religious and profound spiritual principles. Every time the so-called Lucio Maria Perez Aguirre, who held the title of Monsignor and was the parish priest of Abriaqui for more than 50 years, it was enough time to establish a true religious identity in the municipality of Abriaqui. As you can see, between 1908 and 1969, naturally, during the time he was the parish priest of this municipality, of the parish called Santa Cruz de Abriaqui, he was transferred to Vari, to other neighboring municipalities. But his love for this land was so great that, in addition to establishing an entire religious community, he also helped some families who began to create or build their own productive projects, and these families started to spread out. Lucio Maria Perez, while serving as the parish priest of the Santa Cruz parish, already advanced in years, without ever ceasing to carry out his priestly ministry, and with the intention of supporting the parish priest at that time, he settled in a place called Nazareth. There, he established the Nazareth Hacienda, and there too, despite his age, he would celebrate Holy Mass, and as it happened, he died true to his calling, that is, while hearing the confession of a parishioner, he passed away from a sudden heart attack, but even then, he was still fulfilling his duty as an apostle of Christ. The Santa Cruz de Abriaqui parish became firmly established. In other words, he was one of the driving forces and promoters behind the construction of the beautiful church that we, the parishioners, as faithful Catholics, celebrate and are able to attend for regular Holy Mass, especially on Sundays. There in the church, sacred images are kept. We have the bell tower, we have the architectural style of that church, which has become an icon of Abriaqui, the church, because wherever you see the church in the world, people immediately recognize it as the municipality of Abriaqui. So, the entire inventory of religious heritage is thanks to the efforts and drive of this man named Lucio Maria Perez.
Continuing with this beautiful tour here in Abriaqui, now that we know where the name comes from, they're going to tell us more about the church and how, as we've heard, anywhere in the world, just by seeing its architecture, people recognize that it's the Church of Abriaqui. Let's find out why.
Well, this is the church that truly identifies us and strengthens our belief in Christ, the one that deepens our faith, because it's there that we attend all the rites that belong to our church. In fact, something worth highlighting is that last year, on November 9th, we celebrated 125 years of parish life, here at the Santa Cruz de Abriaqui Parish, with the whole history left to us by the different priests or fathers who, as pastors, have left their mark, a spiritual and religious legacy, on all the parishioners who belong to the Santa Cruz de Abriaqui Parish. So, as you can see, the architecture corresponds to the Gothic style, because of, well, the architecture itself. It was also, well, Thanks to the efforts made by Monsignor Lucio Maria Perez and what he contributed, it has also been due to his work. The contents of this temple include images, arches, the main altar, the Blessed Sacrament, and everything needed to promote the faith, because Abriaqui has stood out for being a very Catholic municipality.
All right, folks, now we're going to enter the temple, where they're going to tell us something about the plaques of the parish priests.
This is the commemorative plaque in memory, for the glory of God and the joy of all the people of Abriaqui, where we are showing, displaying all the parish priests who have served in this parish over its 125 years, from its founding in the year 1900 up to the present day. As I just mentioned, each one of them has left a mark, has left a legacy, especially Monsignor Luis Maria Perez, and a son of this land, Monsignor Luis Eduardo Garcia, who, being originally from Abriaqui, also left great teachings for all the faithful believers of this parish called Santa Cruz. This is the spacious and sacred interior of the church where we regularly carry out and celebrate various important rituals, such as the weekly Sunday services and the daily ordinary Mass, which are central to our faith. Holy Week is also celebrated here in a very special way, and it is becoming a tourist attraction for locals and visitors alike, who end up not as strangers, but as friends we haven't met yet, and who enjoy the festivities, especially the religious ones. For example, we celebrate the Feast of the Three Wise Men and the Return every year. While the Feast of the Three Wise Men is observed throughout the Catholic world, within this context we also allow for the return of all the families who, during the year, live elsewhere for reasons we understand, such as work or economic necessity. At the same time, other types of tourists come to visit us to experience these festivities, because we also stage religious performances, like the drama of the Magi from the East, which has also become a tourist attraction for local friends and visitors we haven't met yet, but who come to see us.
All right, folks, I'm going to give you a tour of the temple so you can appreciate it up close. And here we are with this beautiful central image, which you'll see in a moment. Honestly, it's just amazing, and its history and architecture are also something else. Just look at that center. How gorgeous! Let's zoom in a bit so we can appreciate it more. And here I was told, head to the right wing so we can take a look. Let's keep going. The Holy Fountain. To the left. And let's take another look at it. Let's head to the center. The Abriaqui temple right here. Let's see what it looks like from this side, folks. As always. Keep going, folks. What a beautiful view looking back, right? Seriously, guys, as we leave the temple, look at this gorgeous view. Wow! I just felt a little breeze. I think it's going to rain on us. No way. But hey, it doesn't matter, folks. Positive attitude, and look how beautiful this is. Like I was saying, those mountains in the background. Let's run a bit. I'll show you. Exactly. The temple with its architecture that, as they say, is recognizable anywhere in the world because it's different from all the others, as I understand it. Let's keep going. Continuing here with the tour, we're done with our guides and now we're heading to Hacienda El Hotel Nazareth. What is this hacienda about?
It's an exceptional ecotourism nature hotel where they generously offer comprehensive hospitality services, including comfortable lodging accommodations, convenient self-service dining options, and the delightful enjoyment of various breathtaking and diverse landscapes that the dedicated manager or attentive owner of the establishment can thoughtfully provide to their esteemed guests.
Okay. Alright, folks, let's check out this hotel. Well, here we go. Alright, continuing with the tour, we've arrived at a little bridge that, I'm told, is pretty new. It was built around 2003, because a landslide from over there took out the previous bridge. Oh, it's like a suspension bridge. You really feel that sensation of... It's adrenaline. The previous bridge was taken out, so they decided to build this new one, mainly because the people in this area really needed it. And here we have this beautiful river. And look how pretty it is. It's really elegant. Honestly, it has such a cool vibe. I mean, it's like, wow. Suspension bridge, folks. Alright, folks, here we are at the Nazareth Tourist Farm, and we're with Ricardo, who's going to tell us a bit more about this project.
Well, good morning to everyone who's listening to us. This is the Nazareth Tourist Farm. We're developing a community rural tourism project here where what we want is for families to come to this farm and experience country life, reconnect with their roots, cook over a wood fire, bathe in the river, enjoy all the activities of the countryside, reconnect with nature, and find meaning in our lives through healthy lifestyles. So, let me introduce you to the Nazareth Tourist Farm. This is a farm that was built 150 years ago. It basically came into existence along with the municipality of Abriaqui. This farm used to belong to the Archdiocese. Monsignor Garcia lived here, as did Monsignor Perez, twice, and all the religious activities of the municipality of Abriaqui took place here. We wanted to restore it during the pandemic. We came here to haul bricks and turn it into a tourist house with a hotel, creative cuisine, and lodging services. We developed culinary activities for all tourists featuring local cuisine so that we can once again enjoy dishes like panocha de fideos. Beans, the arepas, cooked over a wood fire. All those kinds of things that we've pretty much lost in city cuisine, we want to bring them back to life here on this estate. So, as we go along, I'll be telling you all about the experience of the farm. Shall we keep moving forward a bit?
That's right.
So, this farm is Hacienda Nazareth, and like any self-respecting estate, it has a virgin. And that virgin, you can see her here. Then if you can zoom in a little. It's the child Mary. It turns out the child Mary was born in Nazareth and lived there until she married Saint Joseph, and they went to Bethlehem and did the whole journey. So the emblem of this farm is the child Mary. As you can see, the house is a peasant-style home with some additions like Italian pergolas, because at first priests used to live here. So the house on the estate is built entirely with rammed earth walls, with clay tiles, and and all the columns are made of wood, pine trees that were also cut right here on the estate. In other words, the pine trees are the same 150 years old as the house. The symbol of the house is this wheel. That wheel represents, in the center part, the grandfather and the grandparents. The branches are the children, and further out would be all the grandchildren. Almost all the tourists who come to this house are family groups who want to relive the countryside experience. So right there we have the logo of the estate, where people take their photos and do the whole thing of having a family picture.
All right, folks, continuing with the tour, here we are with Ray, who's going to tell us a bit more about this beautiful place.
Blessings, my people. Well, here we are at Finca Hotel Nazareth. I have the privilege of currently being the manager of this estate, and here we do everything to welcome you when you come here for tourism, when you want to stop by, connect with nature, with this beautiful vegetation. Here at Finca Hotel Nazareth, we're waiting for you with comfortable rooms. We also have for you, we offer a special face mask service with original clay from right here in Abriaqui. So come and try out these things we have prepared for you here. Right now we're keeping the estate, the outdoor areas, in excellent condition, and well, we're constantly maintaining everything. So here in Abriaqui at Finca Hotel Nazareth, we'll be waiting for you with open arms to welcome you and take care of you the way you deserve. The symbol on the entrance gate is the same symbol you'll find on all the capitals above the doors of the house. So I'm going to open the gate. We're going to enter the house, and the first thing we'll see is a tree. That tree is a ceiba, also about 150 years old. Yes, we've been restoring it, and now it's really beautiful, and as it keeps growing, it gets even thicker. That ceiba isn't actually native to this area or this climate, but somehow it took root here. The ceiba is from hot lands, and yet it managed to grow here. So let's keep going and check out the entrance to the house. The entrance to the house has an Italian pergola, which is something you almost never see in Antiochian architecture, but the house was originally built with this pergola and we wanted to restore it to keep up the tradition and beauty of this property. So let's go up these steps. As you can see, you can actually see the house's foundations. We left them uncovered with stone, so you could see how this house is built on a stone foundation, which serves to protect all the walls and the entire place from moisture. In fact, the house is practically thermal at night. The bedrooms stay nice and warm, even though the weather in this town gets really cold at night. The whole house has that comfort. It's warm at night. All right, let's continue. The house's fittings, and we tried to do innovative art in the sense of reusing all the waste. Let's say the scraps, the leftovers from the macana, from lamps, from fans. We turned the fans into lamps, so that they could help us manage all of this. The doors are completely original. They're the same doors the house was built with. We restored them and tried to keep the same style from the era when the house was created. In fact, this red color was the original red of the entire house. The house is built with macana wood frames. Macana, this is a type of palm that grows here in the municipality. We can only use it to make frames. To renovate houses. That palm. In fact, we got it from nearby, and based on that, we made all the frames for the house, which is a corridor that forms you around the whole house. And it gives it a very rustic and unique look within our Antiochian architecture. As you can see, we can look at the walls here. All these walls are rammed earth, and as you can see, they're not very even, because it was rammed earth back in those days. Rammed earth is clay that's packed down with cow dung. That's the only additive they use, and it hardens and binds, and it becomes a block of rammed earth, and that's how they built the walls here in Abriaqui. You hardly ever see that technique anymore. Basically the walls are left as symbols of what all our grandparents do here in this town. And that's the value these houses have, that they're made with rammed earth here in our town. The wood in the house is a type they call racateta wood. That racateta wood is the wood just as it comes out of the sawmill, without any polishing, and it gives a really beautiful color. Right away, they add the treatments and the preservatives. And that's why it's important to see these spectacular roofs that the house has, right? Here I'm showing you the roofs, which is a feature that all our rural homes should have nowadays. As you can see, this is a typical door of the house. The wood it's Camino Crespo, and it has, all the doors have tableaus. They're lit up, and those tableaus are a design added to the doors to give them a certain personality, those, doors. And all these tableaus are original, just like this style of door, which is the entrance to the dining room of the house. the original dining room. Look at the the structure that was built back then, and this wood has been perfect for 150 years since this house was built. Well, originally, the house had this kitchen. With the renovation, well, we turned all of this into bedrooms, and this one became the suite of of the house. So if we look here, it has the 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 original wood from the kitchen, which were these large wooden trusses, and that's where they used to hang the corn, the the sausages, everything that needed to be dried so it could last 6 months, right? So this is the the living space that the the room that turned out really beautiful. You can see here, this is the original clock from the house, right? The original clock from the house, some old paintings from the home, decorations that were typical back then, and here are the rosaries that were used in those days. Now we're going to show you a typical room in this house, how it looks with the current decor. So here you'll find a room where there's a chair. This chair is original to the house. In this cupboard, we see several objects, and here you'll find some relics that were used back in those days. Like this lamp for holding a candle, because there was no electricity here. These are the original nails from the house. Here we gathered them, well, a little bit, oops, but they're kind of nailed in. Well, the axe that was used in the house, the axe for chopping firewood, and items from a certain industry that was here, like cheese making, the the stirrups from some mules. Yes, so there are a number of objects that remind us of the time we lived here in this house. This was also the original radio of the house, the radio that was used to listen to radio soap operas, which at that time were also radio soap operas, in the bedroom of the house. This room also has some additional spaces that were created to provide more comfort for tourists, like a sitting area where there's a hammock and where you can sit comfortably in the hammock.
Right. Yes.
To be calm, let's say, with that view of nature.
Exactly, reading, relaxing, doing all sorts of tourist activities, but tourism with meaning. This is the central courtyard of the house. As you can see, it has a water basin. All rural homes from that era had a water basin in the center. That was basically where the water for the household was drawn from. Today, we've turned it into a circulating water basin which uses the overflow from the storage tank. And here we have the garden. This is the herb garden. We'd have lemongrass, chili peppers. I can't remember what this one is called. Chili peppers. Here are the chili peppers. We have lettuce, celery, which is a must-have in every home. And this is called marjoram. This plant is called the little onion plant. Yes, the little onion plant. Over here we have more onions, more onions. The rosemary plant, spicy lettuce. This is verbena, which is already a verbena plant, but it's super medicinal for relieving blood pressure problems. So, when people arrive very tired, we give them an herbal tea made of rosemary, verbena, and lemongrass, and they feel perfect. That's it. Here we enter the house bar, which is a place where you can have all the parties or social gatherings you want. These are the salt ricks for the cows. Yes, so we picked it up from over there in the meadows and came back. This is the table for partying. It's also one of the old doors from the house. They also have the wood-burning stove, which is typical in all the homes. And here tourists can make their own bonfire, a wood fire, and spend some time, have some hot wine while the conversation flows. So, we have a bonfire, and over there is the wood for the fire.
So, folks, what did you think of that house? It's crazy, all the things they have for the tourist side, all those antiques they keep there. Honestly, the tour was really interesting. We thought it was really cool. Now we're going to look for more iconic places in the town. Like they said, that was the old house of this priest. I can't remember his name. So, they decided to turn it into this tourist spot. And well, we're back at the little bridge and we're moving on. Guys, here's a tip. They told us here that they make a community sancocho. What's the story behind this? Tell us about it.
Yes, as part of the traditional Epiphany and Return festivals, which we've held for about 35 years, we make a community sancocho, an ecological sancocho. The idea is, first, to bring together the communities and organized groups, using resources from the environment without altering or harming it. We bring together everyone, kids, young people, adults, so we can all enjoy a summer day swimming in the pools of the Herradura River, and the ecological community sancocho for everyone to enjoy.
Alright, folks, continuing our tour here in Abriaqui, we've now arrived at the House of Culture. That's right.
Well, this place is for you, for the kids, for the youth, for adults, for everyone who wants to visit us and make use of this important asset, which is the House of Culture named Jesus Maria Palacio. It's called Jesus Maria Palacio in honor, as a tribute to the great teacher Jesus Maria Palacio, who left us, and the generations that came after him, many lessons in education, art, culture, and identity. That's why it bears the name Jesus Maria Palacio. Inside, you'll find the municipal library named David Castro Lopez, in tribute to a doctor who passed through these lands and left us a great legacy. Besides his profession as a doctor, he left us a great artistic and cultural legacy, because he truly felt like a real Abriaquicino, committing himself to the culture of this town. The Jesus Maria Palacio House of Culture offers services in dance, music, reading, and occasional gatherings with different types of people or organized groups, and that's what the House of Culture is for. Within it lies the history of Abriaqui, such as the origin of its name, which, aside from the historical event of the lady passing through here and saying, "I dug a hole here to hand over this gold," also comes from its meaning, which relates to a city between waters and mountains, and that is what the municipality of Abriaqui is. As you can see in the House of Culture, right there in the auditorium. On one of its sides, there is a large mural paying tribute to the victims of the armed conflict, since the municipality of Abriaqui was no exception to that situation that all Colombians, people from Antioquia, and residents of Abriaqui know as the armed conflict, and which, unfortunately, also left its mark here in the face of this scourge. So, there you can see the names, the elements, the history, the collective memory of everything that happened during that grim time for the municipalities of Antioquia in particular.
All right, folks, I'm going to take a shot here so you can see the monument they made here, obviously because of the scourge of war they had to live through. I'm going to show you a bit of that. Let me give you this little pan shot.
Taking some shots. Charlie is the director of the Cultural Center. Perfect. We met the music instructor, the childhood and adolescence liaison instructor. We're missing the librarian. Where is she?
She went to the other side.
She's at the school with help from. Oh, that's great. We are right now in the municipal library named David Castro Lopez. As I mentioned earlier, he was a doctor who provided his professional services in Abriaqui, but with a bit of social sensitivity and a strong inclination toward art and culture, he became committed to the youth and the communities of that time. He made a great contribution and became a reference point in the artistic and cultural history of the municipality of Abriaqui. And that's why this library, this important place, bears his name, to honor their memory and to serve as a reference for the generations that come after them.
Okay. All right, folks, continuing with the tour, we're back in the park, where they're going to tell us a little more and go even deeper.
All right, so right now we are in the main park of Abriaqui, and as someone who was born in this town, I think this park I recommend, it should be called the Bicentennial Park. Why? Because not long ago, the town celebrated 200 years since its supposed, or let's say, its founding. But more than a founding, I repeat, it was a creation. Therefore, the park for Abriaqui is a place, a setting, a context that is quite interesting and very meaningful for the people. Why is that? For the simple reason that the park brings together, unites, gathers, invites, and is a special place for the fun and healthy recreation of children and young people. In this park is where we gather to celebrate various events such as the Three Kings Day festivities, the Return, the Patron Saint festivals, and other celebrations of a civic, social, economic, cultural, and environmental nature. In this way, the park became a place for gathering, for life, for integration. In 2023 to 2024, the park was renovated thanks to the support of the Antioquia government and the efforts of the mayor in office during 2020 to 2023, as well as the current municipal administration. So, the park has been handed over to us for everyone's enjoyment. So, as you can see, the park is a natural landscape. It's our backyard. It's our place of interest.
Perfect. Now we give a little bread, my people. People, look how beautiful this is here that I found. Welcome to this haven of peace. Open here. And this other message, welcome to the corner of love, leaves and dreams. And honestly, it's very beautiful. Well, folks, continuing with with our tour here in Abriaqui, they're going to show us something very interesting.
All right, very good. Continuing with this tour, we are now right on Avenida de la Juventud. It's called that because, of course, it's a tribute and recognition to our young people who use this avenue to get to the educational institution, which is the only one we have, and where preschool, elementary, secondary, and vocational high school education are provided. We're also right in front of the sports facilities, the Coliseum, the soccer field, the municipal pool, and the sports house. These venues will bear witness and serve as the setting for the administrative games, which will be hosted in our municipality of Abriaqui this coming weekend. We will welcome participants from all over Western Antioquia, and we have extended a special invitation to the municipalities of San Pedro de los Milagros and Argelia. In this way, Abriaqui, an important fact to highlight, is located within the territory that includes the Las Orquídeas National Natural Park. Our municipality lies within the area of influence of this wonderful natural park, this natural sanctuary of Las Orquídeas, for the enjoyment of all tourists who know how to travel, who know how to connect with nature, and that is exactly what Abriaqui has to offer. That's why we invite you to visit the municipality of Abriaqui, to enjoy Abriaqui, because as a haven of peace, the nativity scene of Antioquia, and the natural watercolor of Antioquia, it is a welcoming town that at first glance may seem simple and small, but it is full of great hospitality, and is a warm place for locals and friends we have yet to meet.
All right, folks, here we have the Abriaqui Sports Coliseum. Okay. It's really cool, and this is where all the games are going to take place. Abriaqui, my people. Alright, moving on, they're going to tell us a little more about the festivals this town has.
In the municipality of Abriaqui, we traditionally celebrate the Farmers' Festival and Antioquinidad every year, where we bring together the different communities from both rural and urban areas to showcase all the unique character of the municipality, as well as the Antioquian identity, and create a single event for us to display our cultures, our expressions, and manifestations in gastronomy, art, culture, and everything related to the economy and environment, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. And on the first holiday weekend of the year, we celebrate the traditional Three Kings Day and El Retorno festivals. It's called El Retorno because it's an opportunity to welcome all the friends we don't know yet, but who visit us during that first holiday weekend of the year. And it's the perfect time for families from Abriaqui, those originally from Abriaqui, to return to their town and share with the community during these celebrations, which are religious in nature, but also social, with an added touch of culture, gastronomy, environmental awareness, sports, and recreation.
All right, folks, here they're going to tell us a little more about the festivals and about what activities take place during these celebrations.
Well, during the main festivals in the municipality of Abriaqui, there are parades, exhibitions, farmers' markets, cultural events, theatrical performances, and there are music contests or festivals. And I want to take this opportunity because the municipality of Abriaqui has a major distinction that few municipalities have, which is the recognition of its music, dance, and parandera trova. These three expressions are part of the representative list of intangible cultural heritage, making the municipality visible both to the Ministry of Culture and to the Institute of Culture and Heritage of Antioquia. That is why all the communities, creators, bearers, culture keepers, and cultural managers come together to show Colombia and the world the importance of this tradition, which is only found in the municipality of Girardota, the district of Santa Elena, and the municipality of Abriaqui.
All right, folks, we're climbing up over here. We're taking the ancient path out of the El Tambo village, which has a really beautiful view of the town. So, here we go, feeling motivated, soaking up a bit of sun. Our guide Roxana is already tired. We're still going. Oh, the adventure, my friends. People, here we're going to see another panoramic view of the town. Look at it in the distance. Check out its church. Look, it's literally surrounded by mountains. And that, what you see in the background is open here, my people. It is too small and its population is only 2,000 people. How interesting, isn't it? Well, let's continue. Oops. Well, people, continuing the adventure. This way. Let's go over here, through that little hole. Carefully. Ouch. Stuck. Oh. All right, we made it through. God. Moving on. Our guide is over there. Can you see him? We're going to, check out a really beautiful panoramic view of the town. So, as you know, we love adventure. We're going to find a really nice spot. Look, we're literally walking through the field. All right, folks, and here we are. They're going to tell us something here. All right, very good. Here, in front of this panoramic view of this small town of Abriaqui, and its even smaller urban center, which is only 1 square kilometer compared to the 293 square kilometers that make up the territory of the municipality of Abriaqui, we give, our immense gratitude. We express our gratitude to Andres for having come through this municipality, for having visited this territory, for this municipality known as Natural Watercolor, Haven of Peace, Antioquia's Cradle, for its tranquility, for the pure air you breathe here, for the hospitality of its people, for the simplicity and warmth of all its residents. It is a municipality that, with only 2,800 inhabitants, has managed to sustain itself over time thanks to its economy, which is based on dairy, agriculture, mining, and energy generation. Energy that is harnessed from the main sources, because Abriaqui is rich in water, and as such, it contributes to energy generation, which in turn provides us with important resources for the functioning of the municipality. Thank you so much for showing us your town and your culture. Well, folks, here behind us, as you can see, we're saying goodbye to Abriaqui. Thank you for watching. See you next time.